do our little intro video here. Obviously, it's the start of food and wine today. We're so excited because this is the first year, well, in a couple of years, that Epcot had this really long dry season. So just being able to get back into it and getting some food and all of that is amazing. So here's a little caveat, because today is going to be much different than how I normally do these videos. So recently, semi-recently, I was diagnosed with a couple other medical conditions on top of celiac, which is always what people want to hear, right? But anyways, I digress. And so I have something called SIBO, IMO type. They suspect I have something called EOE, and maybe something wrong with my digestive enzymes for lactose. So anyhow, still going through testing, still in like this phase of eliminating just what I like to call food in general. But we still need the information, right? There's a lot of stuff here, and I'm not going to let what's going on with me inhibit what we need to find out and what everybody else can eat. And you know what? We've all been there at some point where we've been around people who are all eating delicious looking food and we can't partake in it. So today is just going to be my day to do that. I did find 2 dishes that I can have, so hopefully I will be able to eat those. And if not, I have some little snacks and stuff in my bag that'll get me through till I get home. Anyhow, so here's what the format is. I have found some delightfully wonderful people, you all from Instagram, who have said that you're here today and would be willing to be my tasters. So I will be meeting up with a couple people who will be getting things that we might consider the most popular dishes or dishes that we really want to see. Maybe they're unique for some reason, and they will be tasting them. I will be interviewing, and we'll still be getting in the information and figuring it out like that. And I'm pretty excited. It's something new and different, and I think it's going to go well. So, you know, got no complaints so far. Here we go.
So let's get down to it. Here we've got Bramblewood Bites. This is the first booth that we're going to check out. It's a unique booth because every single item here is gluten-free. That's right, all of the dishes are labeled gluten-free, and even the drinks are. There's an Old Fashioned by Boyd & Blair, which is top 9 allergen friendly. There is something to note here. The only dish that's listed as dairy-free as well as gluten-free are the cast iron roasted Brussels sprouts. However, this dish does have a bacon vinaigrette on top, so it is not suitable for vegetarians or those avoiding pork. Here we have the grilled bison, which has been a fan favorite for gluten eaters and gluten-free eaters alike, and that's the one we'll explore here today.
Thanks, I painted it. So, I'm over here with very chill Jessica, very excited. And she is trying, this is the bison, right? Mm-hmm. The bison from over at Bramblewood Bites. Yes. And I don't have my list with me. I forget what's it, but there's like a gastrique and a puree.
And butternut squash and mushrooms.
Okay.
Which they look I'm like not a fan of mushrooms, so I'm not going to try those. But everything else looks delicious.
Nobody's
That's actually really good.
It looked like it cut easy, which should mean that it's pretty tender.
It's cut easy. It's very tender. It's got really good flavor. I like bison a lot.
Okay.
So it's got a really good. Let me try this butternut squash.
I feel like you normally get bison burgers, right? Like it's all ground in there, but
the one at
not this. This is a big old
Wilderness Lodge is really good.
I need to try that one.
They do it with a gluten-free bun.
Yeah.
And it is one of my favorite things to get.
All right. We need that.
Yeah.
And okay. So if you're interested, we've got so many helpers. This is so wonderful. Gluten wheat, it's got no egg, fish, shellfish, which you would presume, right? Peanut, tree nut, no sesame, no soy. And so it is the butternut squash puree, roasted mushrooms, really and huckleberry gastrique. I'll find out later, so I'll put it in here, but I have a feeling that if you wanted it without the butternut squash puree, it probably is dairy-free. But we'll find out for sure. Actually, I will have already said that in this video by the time you get to this point where I'm rambling. Anyhow. And there are an awful lot of mushrooms, and then there is a lovely fall leaf on the side that I imagine is not edible.
I would not think so, but it's got a pretty little flower.
All right. Well, thank you, Jessica. We'll finish this. We'll be out of the next.
Well, now that you're on a high, let's bring you down to a low, and we're going to go through all of the booths that have no food offerings that are gluten-free and nothing that can be modified. You ready for this? First in this list is the Milled and Mulled booth. There are no food items here as previously suggested. They do have a donut hard cider and a blueberry pie hard cider. There's one thing to note, they offer a chocolate wine, and that chocolate wine was listed as the manufacturer as not being gluten-free. Belgium said, I ain't got no love for you gluten-free, but I do have a Belgian chilled coffee that you can have if you are so inclined. That one is gluten-free. Do not eat any of the food items here or you will be Mac attacked because none of these are gluten-free, though they do look delicious. There are several wines that you could get or a wine flight if you're so inclined. However, next door is Festival Favorites, and there is at least one snack and a shake that can be modified, so there is food in the area to starve away the hangry. There's really absolutely nothing new with China not giving us any food options. A few of the drinks listed here are gluten-free by ingredient listed. However, to be on the safe side, I usually recommend avoiding China altogether. There are several other things in the area if you need a tasty beverage. I was really hopeful about Japan that they would have some sushi to offer for us this year, but they do not. The drink items listed are gluten-free by ingredient, so you can get those. And of course, this is another booth where there are more things in the area, so you will not starve, I promise. Keeping with our theme, here's another booth with no food options. However, this one does have a mimosa flight. This is also where you can pick up the treat for the montage if you've accumulated 5 stamps on your passport. That one is frozen yogurt that has dairy in it, and it would be gluten-free if you remove the cheesecake. So more on that in a few moments. Last on our list, we've got Germany, where you can get a bratwurst with no bun. So if you feel like a low-carb options, or perhaps you brought some pocket bread, that would be a good stand for you. If not, keep on walking. The Land Down Under has done us right this year. They have 2 options, the grilled bushberry shrimp and the roasted lamb chop. Both of them are gluten-free. The bushberry shrimp is also dairy-free, and the roasted lamb chop was noted to be able to be dairy-free without the potato crumbs on top. However, please check that each time because there's a possibility that it's marinated in pesto, in which case that may contain the dairy. So just know that going into it. They also have wines and a wine flight here. All of those would be gluten-free.
Okay, so we're over from Australia. We got the grilled bushberry shrimp, and this is my friend Jill. So is it Jill or Jillian?
Full name Jillian.
Jillian. And she does. You can do some Instagram stuff too.
A little bit, little small page. Top 8 allergy Disney.
Yeah. So like all the things that you all ask me that I don't know. That's what she does. So go over there.
Because I'm gluten, dairy, soy, onions, which is a lot. So
Okay. So tell us about that.
Well, I was going to say on the shrimp, I'm not going to eat the succotash thingy because it does have onions in it. So just working on the shrimp.
And this whole dish is gluten-free and dairy-free as well.
Yes. And soy also.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right.
I believe so. Yep. All right.
Let's see. It looks kind of spicy. Maybe it's just spices.
I can do that.
It's not?
Not spicy. Spiced. Well, actually, there's a little kick in the back of my throat right now. But mostly just spiced. I feel like there's some pepper in there. It's got a little bit of sweet to it, almost a little bit of a kind of tomato-y flavor.
Okay.
Not sure where that's coming from.
Oh, I like that.
It's good.
Though.
It's very good. It's not typically what you would think of as like a spiced
Looks like
shrimp.
an acidy dish to me. No, with like the tomato and then the veggies that happen to be in there, and they're all kind of like smushed down a little bit.
Yes, I like it. It's tasty. Just a small kick. Like I would say, not even as high as normal Disney spice when Disney gets spicy, because we know that Disney is not overly spicy.
Right.
But yeah, very tasty.
Cool.
Ahoy! We're in Canada, where they have the filet mignon that has been a returning favorite for several years now. This one is gluten-free as is. It can be dairy-free if you ask them to not put the butter on top and you omit the potatoes. There's also a Cabernet here that you can get, which is a very nice wine. This is a great option all around, and it's conveniently located. Next up, we have Forest and Field. This one has one gluten-free item here, which is a burrata. The burrata looks absolutely delicious, and that'll be the one that we try today. For drinks, you have a champagne, a brut champagne, and also a wine. It's as if this is a wine festival or something.
Okay, we have this. Oh, where was that? Oh gosh. Forest and Fields?
Yeah, it is. It's Forest and Field.
Forest and
It
Fields.
is Forest and Field, yep.
This is the burrata, and this is my friend Lex from over at the Lost Bros. So if you have a Disney t-shirt, it's probably hers.
Love that, and thank you, Gina, for saving my life with all your gluten-free recommends. Literally, I can only keep coming here because of you. But yeah, this is the burrata. It has apple puree. It has the pecans. This has been sitting for a long time. Okay, I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
So it may not look as
There's lots of pictures. The
good.
camera eats first.
Okay, perfect. Yep. I already had a bite. It was so good. It was so yummy. Even after sitting for 15 or 20 minutes, I loved it.
Okay, is that like
Definitely
a? Oh, that's an apple puree. So it's like an apple
puree.
saucy
Yep,
kind of.
Yep, and then
Okay.
I don't know everything else.
Dig it
but
and
all the
figs. Dang, and pomegranate seeds.
all the
You're
flavors
good.
worked together.
Thank you.
I can imagine this would be even better fresh, but it was so good still.
Thank you so much.
Let's ski on over to the Alps where we've got a couple of dishes here. There's two that have a warm Recollet Swiss cheese, one of them with ham and potatoes, the other one without the ham. On those, both of them would be gluten-free if you omitted the bread. The next one is the dark chocolate fondue, we will talk about in just a minute, as that will be what we're sampling. There is also a wonderful drink here. It is a frozen rosé, which is top 9 friendly, and it really hits the spots for those hot Florida fall. And no full day of recording would be the same if we didn't have at least one epic fail, so here's the biggest one of them all. We recorded an entire review about the frozen rosé but neglected to turn the microphones on. So, radio silence. Let me tell you what we talked about. We talked about Jillian's ice pack that she keeps around the back of her neck that keeps her nice and cool throughout the day, especially in the hot Florida sun. And the rest of it goes a little something like this. Hey, Jillian, isn't this rosé good? Yeah, it is. Oh my gosh, I'm loving it. I haven't had this one before. You haven't had a frozen rosé before? No, I've had a frozen rosé before, just not this one. Oh my goodness, I get this one every time. I think I'll get it every time too. It's absolutely delicious. Cheers! Let's go to the next booth.
Say that technically everything here is gluten-free, but there is the potential for cross-contamination and cross-contact, which doesn't bother me, so I'm good. But it looks.
So
this is the dark chocolate fondue without the pound cake.
And with the cross contamination, I mean, even then.
But it even has little kumquats
Oh, that's fun.
and meringues. It's very yummy, and it's very good dark chocolate. It's a good dark chocolate. Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Swirled Showcase, where dreams come to life for gluten-free people. Over here is where the liquid nitrogen frozen sweet potato mousse is. They also have several options of soft serve that would all be gluten-free if you omitted the cone. And a frozen apple pie. This is a non-alcoholic drink, and that one is gluten-free as is. Yep, that's right. I said it. The streusel on top is gluten-free. It can be dairy-free if you remove the gelato, but then you would just have
back
cider.
Over here, we went to Swirled Showcase with
Jesse
And Kristen.
and we're from We Do Travel Right. So we're gonna try some food today.
Yep.
do it.
This
Yeah.
is the liquid nitrogen frozen sweet potato mousse.
It looks very moussey and smushy.
Yes. All right.
And they had to do a smashy smash with
Smashy
like
smash.
the nitrogen. They dipped it in the liquid nitrogen.
Okay, but it looks really good.
Oh yeah.
Okay. It
Oh,
tastes
so
like a
cold.
sweet potato pie in ice cream form.
Stop.
Mm-hmm. And it's nice and cold and
Oh
like
my gosh. It's so cold, and in this heat, it's like amazing to
And-
have something this cold.
and there's the pecans on top, which give it such a nice crunch too.
Wow.
Yes.
It's so good.
So you
I'm
guys,
sorry you can't eat this.
well, and you guys are not gluten free, so you've already had several non-gluten free desserts.
Mm-hmm.
So where does this rank in with them then?
This is my favorite so far.
Do you
So far,
see
this is
that?
my favorite.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest with you guys too. I
You
don't
win.
really even like sweet potatoes,
And I love
Really?
sweet potatoes, so
and I would eat this
Can we
before
bring-
I ate anything else.
Let's bring this instead of
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
yeah.
I wanna show a
Honestly,
little.
yeah, please, because
Oh my gosh.
it's
Look
so
at
good.
that.
I'm gonna
Is it
eat this whole
blurry?
thing.
And Jessica walks up, she's like, oh, so when he had so many desserts, like I don't know if I can do anymore. And I
We
was
had
like,
a lot of desserts. That was
I
our,
can see
Yeah,
our
so far,
breakfast.
all sweet so far at the
All
festival,
sweets.
and we were like, more sweet. But
Honestly, this is
So this is the good transition then into
winner,
the
chicken
savory.
dinner. This one,
Yeah, because it's like it's sweet, but it's also savory.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we're loving it.
Hey.
Yeah.
Good, good.
I'm
There you
sorry.
go. There you go.
Okay, over at the Noodle Exchange, we've got one dish here. It's the Thai shrimp with rice noodles, and this dish is naturally gluten-free and dairy-free. The only drinks here would be the Riesling wine, as the other option is a beer, and so you know, that's a no-go. But this has been an option that's been here for at least the last 2 years and really a fan favorite. It's nice and spicy, just what you might need on a very hot day.
Sorry, gotta wipe some of the sweat off.
So we're obviously not outside right now, but we're over in the Odyssey Center, which is where they have brewing and all of that. But we're in here for a little bit of respite, and then we'll get some wings. We were just outside where it is approximately 200 million degrees. And Jillian said to us, you guys, the only thing I like in hot weather is to get a really hot, spicy soup. So we went over to Noodle Exchange. She got the Thai shrimp with rice noodles. It's got shiitake mushrooms, basil, and a coconut curry broth.
This is not going to be cute. I'm just warning you now.
I'm hoping it like smacks you in the face.
Maybe I can like slurp it up and get some backsplash over your way.
Saucy.
I am, yes.
Having no fun at all.
I expected it to be spicier.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it doesn't. It has a lot of flavor, like seasoning spices,
Okay.
but it's not spicy like the shrimp from Australia was.
Have you had this in years past too? Because
I have.
was like
I have. It is much less spicy, but the flavors are delicious. I mean, it tastes like a good like Thai curry. Yeah, nice and flavored.
Little soup spoons, which is nice, so you can actually get that stuff up. You don't have to like slurp it out of the bowl,
Yep.
which I guess you still could. If you
And they've got some nice and very interesting mushrooms in here. Like there was a fuzzy one earlier.
But they kept the tails on the shrimp. I mean, why are we doing that? It comes in a paper cup, and you're walking around eating in the middle of the festival. Tails off, my friends. Tails off.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. But yeah, very good.
Cool.
Definitely different than years past.
All right. There we go.
Over in the Odyssey Center, we have Brew Wing that has several options for us for food and drink. We've got traditional buffalo wings, gluten-free, peanut butter and jelly wings, gluten-free, dairy-free, garlic parmesan wings, gluten-free, and the Carolina Reaper curry wings that are gluten-free. They also can be dairy-free if you omit the yogurt, though wow, that would be hot. We also get a couple of drinks here, including the frozen pomegranate and raspberry tea, which is a gluten-free and vegan drink, and of course, the pickle milkshake, which is a gluten-free drink. There's also several hard seltzers here. Here's an interesting thing about the Brew Wing this year. This area over here that we're showing was what we thought would be a play area. There were several kids in here playing on opening day, just kind of moving things around, and you can see that they had to come and clean up because everything got a little crazy. What we found out was this was a photo op display only, so I don't know if one of the barriers had maybe come down and then the kids started playing when they weren't supposed to. We're not exactly sure, but we do know that 2 days later it is completely closed off, so that's unfortunate. Moving on to the peanut butter and jelly wings, which we will review now. They are, well, you'll see.
So PB&J wings, decided not to have you film me taking a massive bite of chicken wing.
Like she got lucky with the noodles.
It's not pretty. It's not cute. I had these last year. They taste the same as last year, which is good. I feel like they're not super sweet, which I like. I feel it's more like a peanutty Thai, peanut buttery. But there's a little bit of sweet, but it's not sickly sweet at all. I don't feel like it's overpowering. So I liked these last year and I like them again. Good. Yeah, they're not spicy at all, but they have a ton of flavor.
If you have your own hot sauce, bring it.
Speaking of spicy wings, you will have to come follow us on Instagram, where my son and I anticipate doing the Spicy Wing Challenge with the Carolina Reaper this year. Ooh, that's going to be a hot one. Over here we've got the frozen tea, which again is the gluten-free and vegan treat, and really a fan favorite.
So I got the buffalo chicken wings, which again, I also am not going to film me eating because that's just messy. They are spicy, so if you can't eat spice, they're not like mouth on fire spice.
Like the Reaper ones should be, maybe?
Yes,
Yeah.
but I can feel it. My lips are tingly, which I will feel later. Because and then to cool it down, I got the raspberry pomegranate tea, which is delicious. I got it last year. This is gluten and dairy free, which is this one is so frozen. Actually, I'm waiting for it to melt so I can drink it.
This is some video from the pickle milkshake of last year. I personally thought it tasted just like a vanilla milkshake with a little bit of dill on top. Other people thought it had a strong pickle flavor. Does that depend on when you go? I don't know, maybe. Flavors from Fire has 3 different burgers here. All 3 of them are gluten-free without the bun, which means that you would have an Impossible burger that would be gluten-free and vegan without the bun. There's also a smoked corned beef that is noted to be gluten-free if you omit the fondue. One of the drinks here is the swine brine with Jim Beam bourbon. Bourbon is actually considered a gluten-free liquor due to the distillation process. Festival of Favorites, which is where we used to find the arepas. I'm still missing those. Now we have the barbecue pork rinds with pimento cheese that is gluten-free and also a frozen s'mores smoothie. You would need to ask to modify this to remove the graham, and I would still ask every time to make sure they check the ingredients on that, but both of those are gluten-free options at this stand.
Ugh, it's so hard to get it in here. Excelente. Try this. It's wicked good.
Yeah. And tell me what it is.
So this is the frozen s'mores.
Okay, give it a go.
It's so good. It tastes like s'mores in a milkshake with chocolate and marshmallows, and without the cracker because it's not gluten-free. Delicious.
Welcome to one of the several fully gluten-free stands this year at Coastal Eats. We do have a warm lobster tail here with butter. This one is gluten-free. It cannot be dairy-free as it's basted and cooked in the butter, but we do have a jumbo shrimp cocktail that is both gluten-free and dairy-free. There's a champagne, and the cocktail from Boyd & Blair is, of course, top 9 friendly. America this year gave us hot dog upon hot dog upon hot dog, and all of them can be gluten-free if you omit the bun. Several are also dairy-free, such as the New York style and the Chicago style. The chocolate pudding cake here is already gluten-free. That is what I said, already gluten-free. Please don't delay. Get this today. Here we have the hot dog with no bun. You know, if you've got some pocket bread or you just feel like a low-carb option, this is the way to go because this dog was actually delicious. And then we've got chocolate pudding cake, already gluten-free. They made it for us. Don't deny yourself this treat. Go ahead and get it.
I just woke up from my nap, first of all. Second of all, this is a chocolate pudding cake.
Over at America.
Over at America.
Don't delay. Eat today. There you go.
Nom, nom, nom. It tastes like a chocolate fudge cake, which tastes delicious.
Good.
This is the Earth Eat stand that is over by the land. This is where they used to have the Florida smoothie, which was kind of a Dole Whip smoothie, so we're missing that that's gone. However, this red wine braised short rib, we are not sad that it's here. We went to go get some and try it that day, but it was so popular they had run out of it, and we just weren't willing to wait around. There's also a couple drinks here, such as a blood orange aqua fresca that sounds absolutely delicious. The Remy's Hide and Squeak this year is super cute with their prize of 4 different bowl designs. This is one that's good for the kids and for adults as it can keep you occupied while you're going around World Showcase. Just a little tip that if you hold an annual pass, they do give discounts for that. The festival food over here at the Refreshment Port in Canada is all gluten-free. Yes, both poutines are gluten-free, the braised beef and the traditional. There's also a couple drinks that you can get here, like a seltzer or something along those lines. We thank Brazil very much for bringing back these two popular dishes. The first one has a pork belly, and that one is gluten-free as is. There's not really a dairy-free option because you would just be getting pork belly. The other one is the cheesy bread that we have all come to know and love, that is gluten-free as is. And even the drink here, the frozen caipirinha, I believe I'm saying that right, is a gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan drink.
All right.
Okay, so we have some cheese balls from the Brazil stand. Look at
See the inside of that. Whoa, language. Wowee.
delicious,
So
so good.
You
Yeah.
like it?
Weird like that.
Best cheesy bread ever? Nice. All right, what do you want to say?
So, stop looking at me.
What do you want to say?
So we went on Guardians and it was so fun.
Yeah?
And someone was making Mickey with the leaves.
Woohoo!
And we're trying to find all the berries that have the food.
Wonderful. Thank you. Fun fact, over in Morocco, this stand is actually a permanent fixture and you can get most of these items year round. So the grilled kebabs that you can get with either chicken or lamb, those are gluten-free and dairy-free as is, and those ones have been available year round. There's also a fried falafel pita where if you omit the pita, that one is gluten-free and vegan. There's several hard ciders and even a sparkling fig cocktail. This is a really great option when you're in this area, and the food has not disappointed. I have never been so shocked as I was when I learned that France has two options for us that are gluten-free. The first is the creme brulee, which is returning each year, but the second is the very first dish. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it, but it has eggs and goat cheese, and none of that sounds bad. There's also a frozen French Cosmo and a gin drink that has really wowed the audience on this one. I'm going to need to go back for that one again. Spain has given us back the paella again this year. The only difference is that they added octopus. So if you're into that, there you go, gluten-free and dairy-free. They also have a sangria, though I would really recommend hopping over to Morocco and getting that sangria instead. Greece, we thank you again for bringing back the griddled cheese with pistachios and honey. That has been a favorite of this festival for many years running. The other items are not gluten-free and cannot be modified to be gluten-free. However, we do have a couple drinks. We have all of the wines and the Greek melon limeade. Those would be gluten-free at this stand as well.
So I have the griddle cheese. Nom, nom, nom. That tastes so good. It tastes like honey and cheese.
I just don't stand. I just love it.
The first two food options over at Italy are not gluten-free, and judging by the reviews that I've seen on Instagram and YouTube, we're not missing out on much there, folks. But we do have a cheesecake, and I don't know if it's last minute or not, but they decided to omit the crumb, the graham cracker crumb or the crust on it. And so now it is completely gluten-free. It is a crustless cheesecake. They also have some Prosecco over here, Italian red sangria, a blood orange margarita. Any of those would also be gluten-free as well. But just look at this cheesecake. We're not sad about it. Nobody is sad about it. Over here in Germany, we get a little warning about what could happen if you enjoy Food and Wine Festival to its max. India does have one modifiable option for us this year. It is the chicken tikka masala. This would be gluten-free if you omitted the pita. I have had this one before and I've really enjoyed this dish. There's also 2 drinks, the mango lassi and the mango lassi with liqueur. By ingredient, both of those are gluten-free. This is the loudest stand that you will find because the drumming where the kids all do all the drumming is right next to it. Welcome to the Refreshment Outpost over in Africa. There are a couple options here. The Impossible Spicy Sausage, that one would be gluten-free and it's already vegan if you omit the bun. The other items here are a watermelon or pineapple Dole Whip. You can also get that as a swirl. And they have a vodka drink and a hard cider. Also over here this year is a lemonade frozen slushie, which one of my kiddos got to beat the Florida heat. And I don't know if he was being dramatic or not, but he called it, quote, life-changing. Mexico's always good for at least one dish, and this year is no different. This year we have the flauta de barbacoa. That one is gluten-free as is. It's dairy-free if they let you omit the queso. I will say sometimes Mexico is cool with no queso, and sometimes they are not cool with no queso. So you'll just have to take your chances and go there if that's something that you need. We've got the fry basket this year as well, where the fry flight is gluten-free, which means that yes, all of the individual items contained within that flight are also gluten-free. The adobo yuca fries are gluten-free and vegan. That is your other vegan option here. And there's a barbecue bacon fry with smoked aioli. That one would be gluten-free and dairy-free. Another Boyd and Blair cocktail will top it off with a top 9 allergy friendly. In Hawaii, we have the passion fruit cheesecake, which is gluten-free as is. Here's a little pro tip. So the cheesecake that comes on the top of the prize, if you do the montage, is not gluten-free, so you would need to omit that. What I say is, you go ahead and get this cheesecake as the last item on your hunt, then walk over to Shimmering Sips next door to get your prize, put this cheesecake on top of that soft serve, and then you have yourself a makeshift gluten-free prize. Here are all the items listed, and on the guide, I have them listed for you as well.
Ooh, I am hot and sweaty and gross, sticky. This was a really great festival. I feel like each time we've had one for the last couple of years, it feels to me like there's been more and more and more, and at least like more modifiable ones and just more things that don't have dairy. It was really good. So there were some surprises with this one, right? The cheese thing and another cheese thing, the egg thing in France, that was out of left field as far as I'm concerned. Didn't see that one coming from France. And then the mousse dome from Refreshment Port, where we had originally thought was gluten-free, is now gluten-free. So it's kind of a bummer, but from what I'm understanding, even from the gluten eaters, the best dessert of the entire festival was that liquid nitrogen sweet potato one. So honestly, we have the best dessert then. Okay, that's a win for us. But really, I can't remember how many things because I need to tally them up. I'll put them here on the screen maybe. I'm pleased as punch. There's nothing that I would take away and nothing that I would add. In my opinion, this is just, it's good. It's good. I'm happy. I hope you're happy. If I can answer more questions, please, please, please let me know. I am always happy to. And head to my site if you want to download your free guide. It's there for you. No probs. Oh, and while you're there, you might want to pick up a full Disney guide because that thing, I put a lot of work into. All right, until next time, eat well, eat safe, eat happy. Cheers.